welcome to Amazing is Here, where we explore and challenge the fascinating world of amazing historical and scientific facts. In this video, we're going to dive into the origin story of Ashkenazi Jews, one of the largest and most influential Jewish groups in history. We're going to use ancient and modern DNA evidence to answer some of the most intriguing questions about their origins, such as, are Ashkenazi Jews originally from Palestine or Europe? How did they become so genetically distinct from other Jews and Europeans? And what can we learn from their unique genetic heritage? To begin, let's define who are the Ashkenazi Jews. The term Ashkenazi comes from the Hebrew word for Germany, and it refers to Jews who settled in Central and Eastern Europe in the Middle Ages, especially in Germany and Poland. Today, about half of the Jewish population in the world identifies as Ashkenazi, and they have made significant contributions to science, culture, and politics. But where did the Ashkenazi Jews come from? How did they end up in Europe? And how did they maintain their Jewish identity and culture in a hostile environment? To answer these questions, we need to go back in time to the ancient Near East, where the Jewish religion and people originated. According to the Bible, the Israelites were descendants of Abraham, who lived in the land of Canaan, later known as Israel and Judah. The Israelites had a turbulent history, marked by wars, invasions, exiles, and migrations. In the 8th century BCE, the northern kingdom of Israel was conquered by the Assyrians, who deported many of its inhabitants to other parts of their empire. In the 6th century BCE, the southern kingdom of Judah was conquered by the Babylonians, who destroyed the first temple in Jerusalem and exiled many Jews to Babylon. Some of these exiles returned to Judah after the Persian conquest of Babylon, and rebuilt the second temple in Jerusalem. Others stayed in Babylon or moved to other regions of the Near East and beyond, forming Jewish communities in places like Egypt, Persia, Syria, and Anatolia. These Jewish communities maintained their religion, culture, and identity through their sacred texts, rituals, laws, and traditions. They also interacted with their neighbors and adopted some of their languages and customs. For example, many Jews spoke Aramaic, a Semitic language that was widely used in the Near East. Some Jews also spoke Greek or Latin, depending on the dominant power in their region. In the 1st century CE, Judah was under Roman rule, and faced several revolts by Jewish rebels who sought independence. The Romans crushed these revolts with brutal force, destroying the Second Temple in 70 CE and killing or enslaving many Jews. This event marked the beginning of the Jewish diaspora, or dispersion of Jews around the world. One of the regions where many Jews migrated was Europe. Some historians suggest that Jews arrived in Europe as early as the 1st century CE, following trade routes or military campaigns. Others suggest that Jews arrived later, between the 4th and 10th centuries CE, as refugees from persecution or converts to Judaism. One of the earliest evidence of Jewish presence in Europe is a tombstone from Rome dated to 4 CE, which bears a Hebrew inscription. Another evidence is a letter from King Agrippa I of Judea to Emperor Claudius in 41 CE, which mentions that there were many Jews living in Rome who enjoyed certain privileges. Jews also settled in other parts of Europe, such as Spain, France, Italy, Greece, and Britain. One of their languages was Yiddish, a Germanic language that incorporated Hebrew, Aramaic, and Slavic elements. Yiddish was spoken by many Ashkenazi Jews, and became a rich source of cultural expression and identity. But how did Ashkenazi Jews become genetically distinct from other Jews and Europeans? And what can DNA tell us about their origins? To answer these questions, we need to look at two types of DNA, mitochondrial DNA, (mRNA), and autosomal DNA. mRNA is inherited only from mother to child, and can be used to trace maternal ancestry. Autosomal DNA is inherited from both parents, and can be used to estimate overall ancestry and genetic similarity. Studies of mRNA have shown that most Ashkenazi Jews have maternal ancestors who were not from the Near East, but from Europe. This suggests that many Ashkenazi Jews are descended from European women who converted to Judaism and married Jewish men. One study, published in 2013, analyzed the DNA of more than 3,000 Ashkenazi Jews and found that about 80% of them belonged to four major haplogroups: K1A1B1A, K1A9, K2A2A, and N1B. These haplogroups are also common in European populations, especially in Italy and the Mediterranean region. The study also estimated that these four haplogroups originated from about 350 women who lived between 600 and 2,000 years ago, which means they have common maternal ancestor from Europe. They have a mixture of Middle Eastern and European ancestry, with varying proportions depending on the individual and the region. One study, published in 2010, analyzed the autosomal DNA of more than 120 Ashkenazis and compared them with other Jewish and non-Jewish populations. The study found that they are more closely related to other Jewish groups, such as Sephardi and Mizrahi Jews, than to non-Jewish Europeans. However, they also share some genetic similarity with Southern and Eastern Europeans, such as Italians, Greeks, and Slavs. The study also estimated that the European ancestry of Ashkenazis ranges from 32% to 55%, with an average of 46%, which means their genome are from European sources. Another study, published in 2014, analyzed the ancient DNA of 33 individuals who were buried in a medieval Jewish cemetery in Erfurt, Germany. The study found that the medieval Ashkenazi Jews were more genetically diverse than modern Ashkenazi Jews. They had two distinct subgroups, one with more Middle Eastern ancestry, and one with more European ancestry. The researchers suggest that these subgroups may represent different waves of migration or conversion to Judaism in medieval Europe. Some of them carried disease-causing mutations that are common in modern Ashkenazi Jews, such as Tay-Sachs disease and Gaucher disease. These mutations are caused by inbreeding or genetic drift in a small population. Moreover, some of the medieval Ashkenazi Jews shared a common maternal ancestor who lived about 600 years ago. This means that a third of the Erfurt individuals were related through their mothers. They show that they are not a homogeneous group, but rather a mosaic of different ancestries and histories. They are not simply descendants of European converts to Judaism, but rather have a deep connection to the ancient Israelites through their paternal and maternal lines. So, are Ashkenazi Jews originally from Palestine or Europe? The answer is both. Ashkenazi Jews have roots in both regions, and have also been influenced by other populations throughout their history. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories. See you next time.